Hey guys, welcome to the video. Basically just want to go through another mock draft scenario. Hearing a little bit of noise about Essendon being quite keen on Cooper Duff Tytler, so we're going to see if they can find a way to trade up to nab him in this scenario. Here I've got my app. I don't know if you've seen my other video I released, but basically I've tried to bake in as many controls and basically the way the draft works. So I'm going to try and give us a realistic way that we expected this draft to play out. We'll go through it and then see what trades are going to happen in order for the teams to get their respective players. If you like this type of content, if you could like and subscribe, I'm just trying to get this channel off the ground. That'd be appreciated. I'd also like to get a few viewers and subscribers in the chat, and then I could do some mock drafts that you guys want to know about and trades that you might want to discuss. Anyhow, let's get into this scenario. All right, so pretty much it's understood that Will Dersma is going to be going pick 1 to the Eagles. He's been treading the company line lately about moving to Western Australia and all that. I think he's already been told. So he's going to get his 10K and we move on to the next player. Now, I think what's going to happen here, and I hope this is what happens, is that West Coast just take it to all these other teams that are going to be getting elite talents, even when they're, Brizzy just won the grand final, and Gold Coast are going to be winning a couple in the next few years. So I'd like to see the bottom dwellers, West Coast, just stick it to them a bit. So I think what's going to happen here is they're going to bid on Zeke Hewland. Now, this is my hub we've got here. So basically, he's an academy-tied player. As you can see here, I've got badges next to the players' names. Next Gen Academy, Gold Coast. So he's tied to Gold Coast. I've got a few player comparisons. They're never concrete, but it just gives you a kind of vague idea of the type of player we're looking at. So he's a match player. West Coast have bid on him. West Coast wanted to bring him into their club. Gold Coast have the chance to match. Now, West Coast have done this at pick 2. On the list here, I've got the points value for every pick. 2,481 is the second pick value. Gold Coast get a little bit of a discount because they've developed him over the last few years. So they get a 10% discount, which equals 2,233. They've got to use their most valuable pick from the most valuable downwards, which is tallied here, pick 15. This is their current draft hand, and then they'll end up overpaying by using those 3 picks. They get a little bit of change, and then they're going to get the next best pick of which that change can afford. All right. And now, since they've used three draft picks in total, like a sum of them, they're going to get Hewland, they're going to get their compo pick, and they're going to get their fill-up pick. Okay. So let's go through that. That populates. Pick 2, West Coast have been bumped down, and then the compo pick has been inserted. Where is it? There it is. All right. So we move on. I think they're going to do the exact same to Brizzy. Brizzy don't have enough points to match Animal already, so they're going to need to start trading. They need to pick up 341 points. They don't have enough to match this bid, even with what they've got right now. So this is everything Brizzy has at their disposal to trade. They've got their own picks, and they've picked up Melbourne's 3rd rounder. I imagine that was probably picked up in the Petrarca. Oh, no, the Petrarca trade. I don't know which one it was for. Anyway. Yeah, so Brizzy need to get 341 points, sorry. Next best available, so that they don't have to overpay. Again, I did this yesterday, but anyway, the Doggies would be the best bet. We get their 360. They've got enough to match Animals. They're going to need to start selling their future to get pick 31. So let's look at a second round. Is going to be roughly pick 36, pick 40. Maybe best pick available here. That's what we did yesterday. I think that's a pretty good trade for both clubs there. We'll get Annabelle. All right. And same with Patterson. Eagles, if any of these clubs chose not to draft him, Eagles will be getting a great player, or a highly touted player anyway. So it makes sense for them to just go ahead and do it, and they're going to get in the good graces of the other 17 teams that are hating this, where they're getting a great player for jumping the queue effectively. So 456. Let's look at Essendon or North Melbourne's picks. North could probably do with a few future picks. Let's go with that. Take North's second pick. They've got enough points. And how's North's draft hand looking? So they're at pick 22, 23 for what they're looking at, and they're 42. So 42 is not really much use to them. They can maybe bundle 42 and 48, move up 3 or 4 spots, just if they think they might be able to reach for a player later. But I would also look at getting a second at least. What would be with Gold Coast being in the top 4, we think next year we're looking at 32-ish, pick 32, 48 for 23. Go Melbourne's. Melbourne should be lower down the ladder. All right, so we execute that trade. And the 3 tied players are gone. All right. Now, again, West Coast can keep pushing their luck with these clubs. They're going to try and get Harry Dean. Carlton are going to be forced to pay. Carlton, again, have got 2 quite early picks 12 and 14. Both of them are going to have to be burnt. They're going to get a decent compensation pick 27. Okay. As you can see, so pick 27, as the points move, everything gets bumped up the order. As you can see, there's about 5 picks have moved there. That's where we're at. Now, this is where Essendon... West Coast can basically make a plan from, today if they wanted to, and they just go, look, we'll get rid of all these tied players and we'll get rid of the father-son. Let's just give us a clean slate with the open pool. And now this is where they can go to Essendon. Hey, look, are you interested in that player that we're hearing you're interested in? Essendon say yes, let's go to the trade. Essendon want pick 6, okay? So basically it's going to involve West Coast moving back a bit. Now, the West Coast fans are not going to want to move back too far after the season they've had. So I would look at West Coast giving pick 6. It's going to be a bit more palatable as well if you do it this approach for the West Coast fans, rather than just trading pick 6 for pick 7 or whatever it is. Oh, pick 9, sorry. Pick 2 for pick 9. You're looking at pick 6 for pick 9. It's just the optics of it is a lot better. It's still the exact same player that would get picked in the first place if you didn't do these bids, but the optics look a lot better for West Coast, so it makes sense for them to do this approach. Pick 9, we're looking at, that on its surface is not a fair trade. You're not just going to trade back 3 spots for the sake. So Essendon are going to need to throw a little extra in. I would be looking at this tally up the top. I've got little bubbles here. These are based on an article from Cal Toimi, who I really rate as a source of information. It's probably the best in the business really at this point. He's got an article out stating how many draft picks he expects each club to take. And as each pick goes here, this little counter will go down. So we're expecting West Coast to take an additional 3 players on top of William Dersma. Okay, so that's going to, once they get rid of that, it's going to be pick 9, pick 17, and pick 39. Okay, well, sorry, these are the original values. Pick 28, where it is now. So pick 28, we can bump that up 8 positions to lose 3 positions. I think that makes a bit of sense. All right, and it's actually a usable piece. Okay, so now West Coast have got a few more, 286 more points in case one of their academy players gets bid on. Tyler Williams, Banfield's father-son, Wes Wally. There's a couple of them that they might be interested in, so that just gives them a bit more flexibility there as well. Okay, so let's do that trade. So we're looking at pick 6, pick 9 and 20. run draft Essendon get their man. I think Cooper Duff Tytler's been training with them, so they're happy. And West Coast have only really moved back 2 spots. They just need to get past whoever Richmond leave over. Okay, Richmond will be stoked. I think a lot of their fans, from my understanding, they would be keen on Sullivan Roby. He's been the big draft bolter. So let's pick him for Richmond. And I've seen a fair few mock drafts where Sam Grill has been going to Richmond. So I'm going to give him to Richmond. And this leaves West Coast. So basically West Coast they've traded down to basically this selection of players. This is who they're looking at for their second pick. So I would basically, what West Coast need more than anything, I think, is someone to help them out at the stoppages. That's the big one. And they've still, in this scenario, got Dyson Sharp, who's probably the best in their class at this. So it makes sense for them to take Dyson Sharp. He's a great match. Dyson Sharp at pick 9. Essendon are happy. West Coast are happy. Essendon now get a look at the rest of the board. Sam Cummings being a highly touted player. I'm going to go with him there. Now, Melbourne need forward help. They just brought in Brody Myercheck. But yeah, it was a big issue all year for him, having a key target. So for them at this point, they've actually got a pretty good prospect. One of the probably arguably the best key forward in the class here. So we're going to draft Aiden Schubert for Melbourne. And they could do with another clean kicker. I think Josh Lindsay would help out their younger brigade, grow with them. I think that could be a good match. He's going to go pick 12. Hawthorn would be stoked to get Ollie Greaves. I think he was almost an academy player for them at some point for whatever reason. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but it didn't go through. But they're going to get him anyway at pick 13 here. Now, GWS, I've got a bit of a rep. They go a bit left of field sometimes. So this is one that I've got no idea who they're going to pick. Really, I'm just going to select best available. Here I've kind of got little ranges that everyone's expecting the talent to go. So Xavier Taylor, he's slipped. He was expected to go top 10. He's slipped to about 14. GWS are going to be happy with that. They're going to take their man. West Coast, I would imagine, would want the best West Australian prospect. So we're going to go Jacob Farrow here. That leaves them with a pretty good hand of William Dersma, Dyson Sharp, and Jacob Farrow with one pick to go. They've got 981 points to match if someone wants to bid on Tyler Williams or Banfield or whoever it might be. And we're effectively already at that point. Okay, so you can guarantee that whoever that player that West Coast have chosen, should these picks fall in line with where we're at, they're going to be able to match him wherever. They've got that pick value back through that Essendon trade. And they'll be pretty happy with walking away with that kind of draft hand. Carrying on with the Doggies. Doggies need a defender desperately. They're pretty set. They've got one of the best midfields going. And they've got a Darcy up front. So they'll be fine. Let's look for a defender for them. Oscar Taylor is the most highest rated defender at this point of the draft. Top 20 range. Jevon Philippo, midfielder. Mitch Marsh, forward. Lockie Davison, small forward. Hibbins Hargrave. I'm going to go Oscar Taylor for the Doggies. Now, Adelaide, they've had a great season. They don't really want anywhere. So you've got a couple of South Australian prospects right up the top here. I don't think they need an extra forward. You're looking at they still got Tex Walker, Thilthrop, and I have a mind blank, but the third fella. It's annoying me. Anyway, I don't think we're going to go a forward. I think they're going to just add some midfield depth with Jevon Philippo. Okay, so Geelong, again, they're going to finally want to start bringing in some younger players rather than draft getting the oldies in. So I am going to go for they got Cheza and they've got Neil up top. Couple of key forwards. Stengel is a small forward and close. Midfield depth. Danger's getting on. I'm going to go Noah Hibbins-Hargrave. Freo. Freo pretty even spread across the ground. They got a miss, and they've got Tracy up front as a forward. I think it's more of a Jake Stringer, Jake Gunston. Yeah, I think he could help Freo. All right, and West Coast. So West Coast, I would think would probably look at assuming that Cal's tallies are right. I would have thought they'd look at Tyler Williams, but obviously they've got picks at the back right up until where the points drain out at pick 41. Okay, so again, Eagles just need everything. Best available, Lockie Doverston. Trying to think of their small forwards. You've got he's had a terrible year. Cripps is getting on. You've got Malachi Champion, and you've got I'm forgetting someone. His name's Noah. What is it? Anyway. Another small forward. He was injured quite a lot of it. I am thinking we'll go best available. Key forward, they've got they could go a second key forward to pair with Shanahan. Archer Reed looks like he's coming on, but his goal kicking's not the greatest. Let's go Ludovic. Hawthorn, I've got 3 million small forwards. They're not really going to look at that. They've got Barras and they've got Sicily down back. They were screaming out for midfield help, trying to pick up merit. So let's look at Harley Barker, I think. All right. So Carlton, this is where we were expecting them to take Ison in my previous video. He is a Next Gen Academy player. So if they take him, they can stall their points and grab another academy player if they've got any on the list. Let's have a look. Sydney, Essendon, Gold Coast and Kilda. Yeah. Carlton don't really need it. So they can really take best available here. I still think they'll go Ison though. I think they've been developing him. From all reports, they're pretty happy with him. Let's take that. I've actually just realised I've gone into the second round. I didn't mean to do that. The end of the first round falls on Hawthorn's second pick. So that's going to end my video today. Let me know what you think, how your team drafted, what you expect them to do, and basically where my thinking's gone wrong, where it can, like what you think your team needs. Let me know. And I'll see you on another one. Cheers. All the best.